This is Gear.Club Unlimited on the Nintendo Switch. I played a fair bit of it, done a bunch of challenges. So first off, the game is split into two areas. You've got your main campaign, and then you've got your up to 4-player split screen kind of arcade section. There's no free play, which is a little bit disappointing. I like to just drive in some games. Sometimes I just want to turn it on and just go for a race. I mean, you can do that in the campaign, but I mean, sometimes you just want custom settings and kind of go from there. If you get what I'm saying, I like to just jump into a race. So this is the premium kind of racing experience on the Switch, and that in the sense that it's a full 3D racing game. It's something you could technically compare to Forza, but I wouldn't because they're not in the same league at all. But I can definitely see a lot of the inspirations are compared. So what I'm showing here is your kind of building hub where you get to work on your cars and you kind of put them in the shop. You take your car and then you put it into the area, and then you can kind of, you know, work on it with the different sections. You can have multiple different cars that you can buy from a bunch of manufacturers. The cars, I mean, they're all right detailed. The whole thing carries a very weird balance between arcade and actually being realistic in, you know, what the immersion and trying to hit that premium standard. And it's fine. These guys have a long history of race car game development behind them, and you can kind of see that in play here. So what's neat about this area that I absolutely love is that you get to make your own workshop. You get to unlock new things, and you can put in like fun things like seats, vending machines, flags, stuff like that. You can expand the area for more buildings. You can change, you know, the parking style. You can change the actual design of the thing itself, and it's your own little vehicle workshop where you get to, you know, just kind of work on your cars. When you can zoom in, tons of different like options. You can change colors and so forth. And yeah, here there's not a lot of color options, but you do get some selection. You can put certain attachments on the vehicles, and there's a good number of vehicles within the game. So we're going to jump to the actual races. Everything is star-based, so you're racing for 3 stars per area, and there's a good selection of tracks, tons of areas, hundreds of stars to collect, if that's your sort of thing. New settings, and you just kind of work towards it. I do find that it's incredibly easy to play. I haven't had any difficulty blowing away all the competition on every level. But I don't know, I haven't really tweaked the assist settings too much, just because I don't really care and I like to win a lot, because that's the racing games. So you get your kind of selection thing here. You got my car. This is a second model I bought, and so you jump into the premium models right away. There's also awards and achievements that unlock you new money and kind of things and bonuses. It loads up pretty fast. Visually, we're going to get into that once the game starts playing, but what we're looking at is 720 when it's undocked, 1080 in the full version, and a 30 FPS. And I know racing games really like to get that 60, but honestly, on the Switch, that's not possible. When we get here, you know, really nice, decent car models. Obviously, coming from Forza and the 4K options, you know, you're not getting that same thing. It's not really fair to compare these two, but when they're a very similar type of racing game, that's where I like to make my comparisons, and I consider Forza to be the benchmark for racing titles. So as you can see, it's very much a regular racing title. This is a particular mode where we're racing against ghosts. You have other ones where you're trying to beat the time, other ones where you're directly racing against others. And you can see from the visuals, honestly, it looks fairly dated in that regard. I don't want to be harsh on this because it's fun, and on the Switch this is, you know, as good as racing can get, really, I would imagine. And it's not bad, actually. It's kind of an enjoyable experience. I've had fun racing along with it. That's just a quick level. Some of them are a little bit longer. They're all fairly fast, though the tracks aren't too complex. Sometimes you do multiple laps. Sometimes what I thought was really neat is they actually make you loop around and you do the whole track again, even though there's cars in the way. I'm just going to go to the next race right away. But again, you see, like, it just loads really quick, which is nice. I haven't really noticed too many performance issues, if any, throughout the entire time I've been playing it, through a number of levels. And it's an enjoyable, what I'd say, somewhat arcadey racing title. Alright, Cool, so other mechanics are the ability to rewind time, which is a popular thing for Forza. You've got your intense details, you know, your speeds, your position, the time you're at. You can see other cars. There doesn't really seem to be any noticeable damaging to vehicles. There's some smaller effects in the air occasionally that pop up, as you were seeing there. Other than that, the visuals in the background are very still. They're complex in the sense that there's lots of items, but they're not really detailed. You see that also on the actual track itself. You can cut corners and so forth and stuff. It's very casual in that regard. So we're going to switch over right now to the start, and then you can see a selection of options. So driving assist is what makes it more difficult. There's different presets for different difficulty. Obviously, I'm just playing on standard, so this is what the console, like, you know, just what when you put it on, you load up the game, this is what it's set to. You can tweak it further from there. Personally, I'm fine with doing that. Show the rewind in motion, because I don't want to be embarrassed while I'm recording, but obviously, you know, you can tweak things to make them more difficult there. But that's really about it. You're not going to have too much difficulty running through this. It's very accessible for all players that want to go through it. I mean, it's just not terribly bad. Wow, I'm getting some really fast races on this one. There's different types of racing genres, I want to say. There's the rally sport region that I went through earlier. There's different biomes, as you can see right on this map here in the loading. Desert, you got kind of the beach area and so forth. And I'm just blowing through this, unlocking new stuff. Championship completed. More areas available. You just unlock more and more stars, and you get more things opened up to you. I don't really find the stars are much of a barrier here. I usually hate that system, but whatever. So here's the multiplayer aspect of it. So you're not actually racing others. You're competing in a set map, and then there's a score, and you kind of compete against others in the sense that you're trying to get the best score, and everything's like ranked up. I guess I'm 31st. And it ends in 13 hours, and it's like a league, and you see top players. So it's not really an actual multiplayer. You can play the local split screen fine. That's your sort of thing. Yeah, sure. You gotta buy different cars for different areas. I actually have a lot of money stacked up because they give you money like it's nothing. Definitely overall, this is a fun title. Ooh, can I afford this one? Really? What about this? Yeah, okay, let's do it. I think the cars look alright. They definitely look authentic. And you can customize them and tweak them. And the general presentation comes across as attempting to really capture that high-class driving experience, but for the Switch, and being fully capable for, you know, what the Switch is. And I definitely do appreciate the effort, especially since this is like a first entry on the particular consoles. I believe it was a original mobile series, and then they're taking that sort of style that works, like mobile works really well for the Switch, because you have that ported option, and then you pick it up and then you take it with you. So it does look rather sharp when you're in the handheld mode. But honestly, on the 1080, it looks alright. I'm playing on a 4K, so obviously things are a little bit stretched, but it's actually semi-smooth in the sense that you're not getting too many jagged lines, and that is a nice sort of option. I feel that it handles very well with the Joy-Cons. I actually got my Joy-Con fixed, so that's nice, and it seems not to have any issues now. It's just a really easygoing racing game. And I think a lot of players are going to appreciate that kind of option on the console, because there's really nothing else that's comparable aside from like kart racing titles. So it's trying to be a little bit more professional of a release. And obviously this is the desert terrain. You're going to need a different vehicle for different sections that you unlock and new areas that you go to. Of course, all with the star system, there's something like a few hundred, like 400 stars or something to obtain if you really want to go for that perfection throughout this, which I don't imagine would be too difficult at all. I just wish there was a free play option, just to kind of go and do whatever. There are some night races, but most of it is just all during the day. It would be nice to see maybe some environmental aspects, such as like rain or snow. Just maybe even general more complexity. The levels are all different, but they feel similar, a lot of them. They have the same sort of structure and end portion, and they wave the same. Not terribly complex or long, as opposed to the tracks in the Forza series, where they're actually like real tracks, and they're, you know, a little bit more pro-designed, if that makes sense. And the backdrops are neat, but again, they're very, you can really tell that they're just sort of there. They are vast in scale, though. Would have also been nice to have some more like camera angles as far as that, and some other tweaking options. It just feels very simple compared to a number of other races that I've been able to play over the last couple of years. But it's definitely a great attempt for this. I'm getting a little vicious here. And there are a good number of cars available from manufacturers. If that's your sort of thing, where you want to get the experience of, you know, the top retailers and stuff for vehicles or manufacturers or whatever. And then tweak those cars how you'd like. And improve their engines, enhance them, buy new crap for them. All sorts of stuff to do in this. Sorry, I'm not so usually so aggressive in this. Just bumping everybody along the way. This is like a minute or something, just fast. Oh, there's the level system too in this. You get new items that are available. It doesn't really impact gameplay too much what level you are. Yeah, whatever. I haven't noticed that really doing upgrades and stuff makes much of a difference. I still absolutely just dominate everyone. But I can tweak it, obviously, to make the handling and stuff more difficult. I just wish there was more, I guess, options. I like the drivatars in Forza, because that adds like a more sense of realism to the competitors. Whereas this feels more like old school racing type arcade thing. Here we're actually getting a night level, which is cool. I think it just kind of looks a little bit off, though, being a night level. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah. Maybe the sky doesn't look dark enough. It's kind of like more like a blue color I'm seeing. That's from a couple of the night maps I've done so far. Yeah, it's definitely strange coming from like the smoothness of 4K at the fluidity of 60 with the even lack of HDR. I find HDR to be a big difference in most titles nowadays. And again, I'm not trying to make that direct comparison because that's really not fair. But you know, obviously being similar titles, you can do that. It does offer a little bit of everything with the rally and all that. So you're getting a varied level of cars and tracks and competitions for whatever type of racer you are. I don't know, it just feels kind of simple, but you're gonna get like many hours of gameplay if you actually play through it all. I'll say the desert seems a lot more varied than the initial city starting area. It's kind of rolling along. Doesn't really matter. It's still up ahead. It would have also been nice to see actual competitive multiplayer available online. I do appreciate the 4-player split screen. Well, I don't, because I don't really play locally ever, because, you know, I'm all about that online. But I know that the consoles are really focused on providing that, and that option is present. Yeah, whatever, lady. Those people will pop up occasionally to give you a, I don't know, tell you what's up, to go and do things. It is nice how it just flows together, though. You can just jump right into the next race. You don't have to back out and pick it or anything like that. It just loads right into it. Let's roll. You can definitely see there was some nice work involved, though, as far as making a wide selection of levels present. It is big in that sense. Levels are fast to drive through, but they vary enough. It's surprisingly fine to drive with the Joy-Cons. I was a little bit worried it'd be more uncomfortable, but it seems to handle just fine, despite the little tiny triggers on the back. It is kind of a simple title to play too, in the sense that you just really need to use the one trigger and then the left stick to just kind of move around. There's nothing more complex to it than that. Obviously you can rewind and kind of like e-brake and stuff like that, stop and all that. Very typical racing. Oh damn. Cool, we can probably fit one more racing level in here. Finish that area right up. Nice. Oh, it looks like we moved. Oh. Fancy. So what you're getting out of this package is a lot of cars, a game that's focused on providing you a full package, and probably the best racing offering you're going to see on the Switch as far as being a realistic type racing title. I would have liked to see free play and a full multiplayer, but with this being a full first entry, it's fine. It's solid. It runs well. It looks decent enough. Handled well. Lots of customization options. Tons of different types of racing levels, and a bunch of customization options for your vehicle, which I always appreciate. If you're liking this type of gameplay and the look of it, you're just going to get a ton more of it as far as you move through all the different stars and levels. Overall, it's decent. It's definitely fine. I didn't have too many issues, or any issues with it at all. Yeah,